Okay, in the last session we have discussed about the very basic Python stuff and along with the installation, how to install Python on your system and start using the very basic things we have learned. In this video we are going to learn about strings. Okay, what strings is in Python, right? So how we use strings in Python. So we have used a very basic string, that is Python is one, which is the variable of type string. We can just check the built-in function type yes, and you see that it is of type string. Okay, you can print string using this, but we can do something called indexing, right? So string is a iterable object on which we can iterate over and pull out each character out of the string. Okay, we can iterate over this particular object on each character out of this particular string, right? So that's how possible. So there is something called indexing, and index is can be given in the script operator, that is the square bracket after the name of the string. Okay, yes is the name of the string here, and in the subscript operator I give 0. If it is 0, then it prints p, then 1 it prints y, 2 it prints t, 3 it prints h, and so on, right? So indexing starts from 0 and it goes to the end of the string. Okay, so obviously if I try and explain you what is the value of 5, so obviously it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So at the 5th index I find n as a character, and that's printed. So that's how we can access a string using such indexes, right? The another built-in function I would like to highlight here is len. Len is to find out the length of any iterable object. Okay, remember I am saying it is used for any iterable object, not specific to string, and obviously this is not a string object function, right? What is the string object function? Do you recall we used one in the last session? So for example, capitalize is a string object function. Okay, but len is a built-in function, correct? So len works on any iterable object, and it will find out the length of that iterable object. In this particular example, string is the iterable object we are trying to give to the len function, and we get the output as a number, that is 13, because there are 13 characters in this particular string. Remember, space is also a character. Okay, the total number of characters is 13, and that's why the length function is returning us to as the value which is 13. So we have seen some of the built-in function. I just add this one more function into the list of these built-in functions called len. So I just type here. Okay, len is another built-in function we have just seen. Okay. So now remember, if I do len of s and try to understand what we are actually doing, okay, and you see some error, right? So now I want you to think about this, what happened. Okay, pause the video, just think about this, what has gone wrong, and what is this a valid statement? Is there what is the exact problem before I discuss? Okay, let me tell you, s of 1, s of 2, these are the things we can do, right? But I can't do s of 100 because obviously there is no such index, right? So we are going out of the string. Our maximum length of the string is 13. I can't go beyond that because I don't find the string or character into the string which I can print using the index, right? So what are the valid indexes? 0, 1, 2, and so on up to the index where the value is n. So obviously if I count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it comes 12 here. So the maximum value allowed is 12. Okay, the moment I say 13, it will say the error, right? So you are now going out of the range which is actually possible, or which is actually the valid value for this particular string, because this 13 is beyond, right? Because the index starts from 0 and up to 12, that gives you the length of 13, right? So that's what we have seen, len of s, that is 13, and s of 13 gives me error. So this is same thing as s of len of s, because obviously len of s returns 13 and s of 13 is the error here. Okay, so that's how we can see how the indexing works, right? So the another style where we can have indexing is negative indexing. This is something new, right? If you haven't if you recall in C or C++, so negative indexing is not possible, but yes, here there is a possibility to use a negative indexing, correct? So here you can see that s of -1, s of -2 and so on, right? S of -3 and so on. So if you look at this, what is the value of s, and s of -1 now prints negative one index gives you the n here, then -2 gives you u here. So it looks like it is doing in the reverse direction, right? In the forward direction, index starts from 0, the 0th index value is p, the first index value is y, and so on and so forth. And in the negative indexing, so -1 is the value which is at the end of the string. I don't have to really count the number of characters to print the last string, but I can simply use s of -1 and I'm done. Okay, so what do you think, what is the value of length of s -1? I think this is pretty simple, because we have seen length of s is 13, 13 minus 1 is 12, and length of 12 is the last 13th character, that is n, right? So being said that s of 12 is n and s of -1 is also n, right? So double equal to, I am using a double equal to operator to compare two objects. It's as simple as using this a and b, okay, and checking if a and b are both same, and answer is yes, obviously, right? So comparison operators, so as I said earlier, we have seen some of the operators here, and these operators we will explore as and when we go and use them in the program, right? So right now we have tried using a comparison operator. So similar comparison operators which we can use, those are self-explanatory, so I'm sure as and when we use you will understand them. And Boolean operators, that is true T capital and false F capital. So those are not case insensitive, guys. So we have to remember, right? If it is T true, then T has to be capital T, correct? So that's how we use, and the comparison operators can be used like this, right? Suppose these are two exactly same objects, we can compare them using double equal to. Okay, that's how we are doing here. The string, whatever it returns by the negative indexing, is same as whatever you can return using a positive index of that corresponding position, right? So that's how we have done. So remember, what all things we have seen is s of 0, s of 1 and so on, and negative indexing s of -1, s of -2 and so on, right? So that is what something we have just seen, right? So there is also a concept called slicing in strings, right? And for that matter, it is for every iterable object. Okay, so what slicing is, there is little more to the indexes, whatever we have seen, right? So positive, negative indexes. Along with that, we can specify the range of indexes as well, right? Look at the string, s is having Python is fun and s of 2:6. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what exactly is happening in line number 99, right? Just think about this. Okay, let me repeat, let me tell you what exactly it is happening. It starts to get the string starting from the second index. Remember, index starts from 0, so at 0th index it is p, then first index y, and the second index it is t. So it starts from t and it takes up to 6th index value and not including the 6th, right? At 6th index there is a space, but it has not taken the space, right? So up to the 6th index but not including the 6th index. Let's say I will take 8 now. So up to 8 but not including 8. At the 8th index the value is yes, correct? But up to yes but not including yes, and it starts from second. Okay, so this is the syntax. So the syntax looks like this. So here you have a start index and you have a end index. Okay, so this is the first version. This hash is for colon, for commenting the line, which we haven't discussed yet, but I'll discuss this once we discuss how we comment some of the lines in the Python code. But for now, hash means the line which I don't want interpreter to consider, right? These are non-executable lines. Okay, so perfect. So this is how the indexing we can give. Suppose 0:, 9. Okay, obviously this gives, it starts from 0th index and up to 9 but not including 9, so that means up to 8th index, and at the 8th index we have yes, correct. So that's possible. And another variant to the same is using, there is one more attribute, that is the step size, right? Sometimes we may want to step 2 characters at a time. So I start from P, I skip Y and then consider T, I skip H and then consider O, and so on and so forth, right? So that's how the third value can be used in the script operator for slicing purpose, correct. So this is, and this both things are same, and in fact you could also try and write anything. If you don't give any values, this also works. That means there is some default values we have to consider, right? So the default values for the starting point is 0, the end is length of the string, and then the step size is 1. These are the default values. Okay, so that's why it starts from 0 and up to n. That means whatever is given, if it is not provided, so it would have considered length of s, but we have given 9, so it will consider up to 9 but not including 9th index, and then the step size is 1, unless you specifically mention, as we have done in line number 103. So it will consider whatever is specified. If not, then the default values will be considered for slicing. Remember, slice of the string is always a string, right? Like slice of an apple is always an apple, right? Isn't it? So a slice of the string is a string. So this is how we can use. So we have seen these are the 3 different ways one can access your strings, and you just have added this here. So we will see how string slicing happens here. Okay, and so on. So that's all, guys. This is the basic string operations, and which is very handy. We are going to explore this. We are practically going to learn more about these string operations and the slicing concepts, along with many functions, that is the built-in functions. For example, yes dot upper and lower. So those functions we are going to use, as I told in the last video. I hope you guys are exploring these built-in functions from the string library or string object. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you.